Hey YouTube, welcome to our news channel. This is CNC Customs. I'm your host Craig.
I'm Cody. Alright, so in this show we're going to teach you a lot of things. Hopefully you'll learn a thing or two about modifying cars, body work, doing little things here and there.
Yeah, we definitely should do stuff like comparisons.
Yeah.
Like possibly even shootouts between rival makes and models. For example, import versus domestic. You have a pretty nice import.
Oh yeah.
I have a couple imports. I even have a domestic or two, but we should really think about getting a show domestic, like a Mustang.
Yeah.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
What else is there?
Camaro,
Trans Am,
Yeah.
What's the real common stuff that you see everybody like pushing up against Hondas and Subarus and Mitsubishis and stuff,
Yeah.
Maybe we'll look for a Camaro.
Camaro sounds good.
That would give us an LS-based engine to start with if we get the newer year. Not the newest body style.
Yeah, no.
That's a little too expensive, and
I'm thinking 99 to 02, something like that.
yeah, because the 98 Camaro's pretty good. So we'll do something like that for this first episode. This is going to be our pilot episode, and I think we'll get on Craigslist.
Yeah.
And we'll look for a Camaro, something that's in good condition, not beat.
Yeah.
Preferably something that's not even been modified yet, because getting a car that's already modified is a sign that the previous owner really was a performance type person and probably beat on it pretty hard.
Yeah, and we're not looking for something that's beat. We want something that's going to be primed to work on, and then when it's done, it'll be ready for resale.
Yeah, that's what we ought to do. We ought to buy the car, stick it up against your STI, which is what he has. He has a really nice STI, and we'll tell you guys about that another time. But and then we'll see what it takes to get the Camaro to outdo or run with the STI. And when we're all said and done with it, we'll sell it.
Yeah.
And then we'll just do something else for fun.
Oh yeah. We got tons of other projects to work on around here.
We've got a lot of projects to work on around here. So this is our new show, and enjoy, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll put out a new episode for you. What do you want to do? Once a month?
Once a month sounds good.
Yeah, maybe sooner if we have stuff to do, but we'll try to put out a new episode once a month for you to watch, and hopefully something entertaining will happen during them.
And guarantee it'll come quicker as we get more projects.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, did you find anything? You said you were looking for a Camaro.
There it is.
You found one?
Oh yeah.
All right, put the number in the phone. Give me the phone. I'll call him.
All right.
Does it have a name on there?
Richard.
Richard. Is Richard around? Richard! Hey, my name's Craig. I was calling about the Camaro you have on Craigslist. Is it still for sale? Alright. We're on our way. We're coming to get it. Alright, bye. Alright, so we are on our way to go get a Camaro.
Let's go do this.
So we found the Camaro on Craigslist that we think will work for this project. On our way to the bank now to pull out the funds, and then we're going to go check it out. If a car already has the headers, exhaust, intake, things like that done to it, 10 to 1, the previous owners ripped on it pretty good, beat on it. But if it's bone stock and never been touched, it could have just been driven, calmly for its life. So go down there and check it out. We'll go up here to the bank and pull out some funds, and we'll head down and we'll pick up some video footage while we're down there and show you guys the car. Hopefully we can bring her home.
Hopefully we can bring her home, and hopefully it's what he says it is.
That'd be nice for once, an honest car salesman.
Yeah.
Alright, Cody, I'll get you a lollipop. If they still do that nowadays. So, it's about what, an hour and a half drive?
Hour and 14.
Hour and 15 minutes, so
yeah.
I've already driven a lot farther than this and turned around and come back from cars being junk. So 3-hour drive. We'll find out if this car is going to be our first project together. New show for YouTube, CNC Custom Show, and this will be our first project. Okay. Can I get a lollipop or two?
Yeah, what color?
Oh, surprise us.
No fighting.
No fighting, alright. Not supposed to fight. Oh, I dropped one. That was yours I dropped, Cody.
Oh, fine.
We're taking Cody's STI. This is what we're going to actually do the shootout between. If we pick up this Camaro for our import versus domestic build. Cody's already got some mods done to this. What do you got done to this thing?
I have nothing special. I got an NVIDIA catback exhaust, the N1, and then I got the Cobb SF intake, and I have an access port running the Cobb off-the-shelf Stage 1 map.
Yeah, so it's definitely snappier than a stock. What year is this?
2013.
So 013. You ever look up any specs on these things? What do they run from the factory?
Didn't really do too much research on them on what they do out of the factory, but
Yeah, we should check on that and see, because if we get this is an 02 Z28 we're on to look at, and the 02 Z28, if I remember correctly, is a mid 13-second car, which I believe the 013 or the 2013 STI is a 13-second car.
yeah, something like that.
So they should be pretty equal right out gate. If all goes well, we should have them both at the track tomorrow, get some footage of that, and do a comparison, and then we'll see what it takes to have the Camaro actually take out this old girl here. I mean, what are these cars book value at? I don't know. You bought it new, didn't you?
I bought, well, it was used, didn't have that. It got it with about 5,600 miles on it, and I bought it for $38,995.
So $38,000. I mean, it's an all-wheel drive car. It's got a lot of bells and whistles, but when it just comes to bang for buck for down the quarter mile or performance, we're already going to be ahead in the Camaro. We've got this guy talked down to a pretty decent price, and I don't see us putting near that kind of cash into it before we end up outrunning this thing.
Yeah.
So I noticed driving this thing, this Subaru, that other Subarus coming by seem to want to wave to me like they know me. Is that some secret club you guys got going on or something with these things, or what?
Well, I can't really tell you. It's just something that I've noticed too, so I just take part in it.
Oh yeah, maybe that's how it started. Everybody just takes part in it. You started something you don't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even in your guys' club, and these people are waving to me.
Yeah.
So I guess tomorrow, another thing we can talk about then. Tomorrow will be your first day going to the track with this.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll be.
Get some times out of it and see where it stands, because this car here is not one that we will be you'll ever be getting rid of in the near future. But it could be a car that receives some modifications throughout our show along the time. It'd be nice to see how they improves it or hurts it.
Yeah.
I firmly don't believe in all the jive out there, like a cold air intake, an air filter, a K&N. I don't believe in all that stuff. So I'll be either proving that I'm right, or you'll be proving that you guys are right. One of the two.
Yeah.
Try little changes like that. Go to the track and swap some stuff around and see what happens with it. And this Camaro will be the same way. It'd be nice to make changes with it along the way and see what it actually takes to get it. Take it to the track every time we make a change.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper to go to the track and make some passes and get some mile an hour than it is to go to a dyno every time.
Yep.
But I'm not against hitting the dyno up sometimes, but just not every time.
Yeah.
So we swapped driving for a little bit. I had to get some fuel. I had to eat. We're on our way down. I'll do a little bit of the video now. Hoping this guy lets us test drive this car. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, he's a bad salesman if he doesn't.
brakes are a little red.
These are nothing though. I was on a cruise one time, and I ate 5 dried ghost peppers.
Oh yeah, ghost peppers are one of the sauces I collect. I collect ghost pepper sauce.
Ghost peppers are fucking unreal.
Yeah. They are really hot.
Yeah.
These are hot.
They are pretty hot, yeah.
These things should have a warning label on them.
They're fucking spicy. Holy fuck. The first initial kick wasn't bad, but after you have about half of one down, they're like, holy fuck.
Pretty hot, huh?
Pretty fucking hot. I feel like I could blow fire after this one.
Oh, you will. in the morning. So,
I'll fucking give them a warning now. Fire Slim Jims are hot as hell. Burn your butthole in the morning.
yeah, these are really freaking hot habanero Slim Jims. Probably should have ate these when we're trapped in a car for 2 hours. This still has the stock manifolds on it. Okay.
Let me grab the key. I'll grab the keys.
Sure. So we're looking at, I guess when you go to buy a car for the first time, or if you've not really bought one, you want to do your research and find out what's the characteristics and what's normally goes bad on cars. These Camaros, it's usually the paint. They're pretty solid for its front suspension. They're pretty solid for the rear suspension. The rear axles are notoriously on the weaker side of all the, compared to like a Mustang 8.8 or something. They can take some abuse. First thing that you notice right off the bat is these headlights will need polished. They're faded out. The rear spoiler's got some paint work that'll need to be done. And it looks like we have a little bit of cracking on the slide skirt. But overall, the tint's coming off a little bit there. But overall, it looks like it's a very clean, well taken care of machine. Thank you. So it's got a Flowmaster. Looks like a cat back, Flowmaster cat back. So pretty much the same mods that your WRX has, other than you have also the access port with the tune.
Yeah.
So it's looking to be like it has the exhaust cat back, cold air intake, which, like I said, I don't think those work anyway. Let's start it up and see how she sounds. You want to go out there and see if she rattles or bangs or anything? The other thing you want to listen for with these LS motors is top end rattle when they haven't been ran. The motor's not warm much. I don't think it's been ran recently. Sometimes car dealerships, when they know you're coming, will fire a car up and run it. Got the oil circuit to get rid of the knocking sounds when you start it. One way you can tell is just to turn the heat on. If the heat's really hot, then you know they ran it. Or check the temperature gauge. So it actually has brand new tires on it, 245 60s, 16s on the rear. They are a cheaper brand tire. We'll find out how those work in a minute. And same size in the front, but I do believe these have different offset rims. If this Camaro might not. I know the older generation Camaros did. You couldn't rotate front to rear. The offset was different on the rims. So the top end sounds good. Little characteristic LS ticky chatter. So we have 150,000 miles. I'm expecting the clutch to engage rather high at that point. Little characteristic GM play in the column. This comes from somebody who just kind of like hangs on it all the time. So this actually is adjustable. And it's the same in all the spots. So All right, let's see if we can get out of here without hitting nothing. Oh, wait a second. We have a traction control on here. There we go. It kicked me right off there as soon as I started to get on it.
Yeah, I felt that.
I'll have to turn around and try again.
Yeah.
I don't think these guys will mind. What do you think? Turn around and try again before we head back?
I say do it.
That's a pretty quick 70.
Indeed it was.
Caught rubber in second. Pretty hard.
Chirped her off a little bit.
Yeah, she did. Now this is the 02, so this is the better year of this body style. The 98, 99 aren't quite as good. This is the 35th anniversary edition year as well. All right, well, CNC Customs, we got our first project car. Camaro Z28 2002 35th anniversary edition. T-top car. Seems to run really strong. It's, as you saw in our video when we first got there, it's just seen it has the catback exhaust, Flowmaster, and a cold air intake of some sort. Not a firm believer in those things, but she runs and drives really well. She's smooth, clutch feels good, shifter feels good, everything works. It's going to be a great little car for our first project. Many more to come, we hope. And don't forget to subscribe and share this channel and these videos. This is going to be something pretty special for you guys all to watch. So it's been about an hour drive back now. We just stopped over because Cody has to relieve himself. And no overheating, no check engine light, no weird sounds or rattles or carrying on, no problems. I think we've got ourselves a winner here. This ought to be a perfect candidate for our first project car. So try to get a couple street pulls out of Cody here on the way back. See if I think the trick to beating that Subaru is going to be to get him from a high enough roll. That thing's pretty nasty down low off the line, and he does have the three different settings on it. He has that access port mod done. He's go to 3 different settings on his dash between different boost levels, and knowing him, he'll probably crank it on the highest. But see if I can set the camera up maybe and get a couple pulls against him and see how bad he kicks this thing's ass, and then give us something to go off of. And then, like I said, tomorrow we're going to go to the track and actually get some quarter-mile times for both cars, and we'll see what they look like then. All right, let's do a 3 honker. Just in case it was driver error, Cody and I are going back out here and we're going to do another run here. comparison there, how they compare. We had Cody in the Camaro that time and me in the STI. So they run fairly equal. I think we'll find out at the track tomorrow when we actually get to the track what's what though with them. We got her home, we got her in the garage. Today we're going to take it to the track and we're going to see what this car runs compared to the STI. We're taking the STI too. But since we don't know the history on this car, the least we can do for it's an oil change. So we're going to take the information we need to the store. We need to know the year, make, and model, the size of the engine. Most people will go off of whatever the recommendation is. This says C owner's manual. A lot of them will tell you right on there what it is. Usually you can find this vehicle emission sticker on your car and it'll tell you the size of your engine. And this is a 5.7 liter. So we know it's a 2002 Camaro Z28 with a 5.7 liter. And we'll have to check the owner's manual, which this didn't come with, for what oil they recommend. Now, being a car guy, I know what oil I would put in it, but I'm just telling you guys how to do it the right way. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to check over a couple of the fluids. We'll make sure that we don't need anything else. Looks like the brake fluid's good. Power steering fluid's good. Has a little dipstick right on there. I can see it's good. Serpentine belt has no cracks. Just checking all these little things because you know we're already going to be there. Me and Cody noticed the battery's weak. It's not held down right. So we're probably going to get a good charger and see if we can bring this battery back to life with a good charger. If not, we'll put a battery in it. That's about it. So everything else looks really good. Engine coolant, everything's topped up. So all we need to do is go get the filter and the oil. We'll pick up the video at the auto parts store. We're at the auto parts store obviously here, and there's no book. And rather than rely on the guys working behind the counter who want to know way more than what you need to tell them for a car, we'll just use Google. So what do we have? A 2002 Camaro. I like Pure later. Pure later. And we'll look up the oil photo number. Pure later. Oil filter. And that would be for a Z28. Let's see here. And of course, PL 14006. So PL 14006. See how that looks. That looks right. Hold that first, Cody. We couldn't find the owner's manual, so we had to look it up online, and the Camaro recommends 5W30 weight oil. For those of you that don't know, the numbers like 530, 1030 represent the viscosity of the oil at different temperatures. This is the oil's thickness when it's cold out. This will be the thickness when it's hot out. So when it's hot out, technically a 530 and a 1030 will be more or less the same, so you can interchange the two of them. But when it's cold, the 530 will be a little more free-flowing than the 1030. So it's called a multi-viscosity or dual viscosity oil. There are straight-up oils, like this one, straight 30. It doesn't care if it's cold or hot. But I like Valvoline, so we'll grab 6 quarts, was what it said it takes online. 6 quarts of 530 or 1030 Valvoline. We got the filter. And I guess we'll grab some gloves, keep our hands from getting all gross. Not that I mind, but Cody does his nails, so make sure he don't get dirty here. And here we go, 530, 6 quarts of this, which they probably have in the big jug right here. So 530, 5 quarts, and that makes 6. Anything else you think of while we're here?
Not off the top of my head.
That's how it usually goes. We'll get back, we'll be looking at the car and be like, oh, we should have got this. Okay guys, we'll pick up back at the shop. Okay, we're under the car here, draining the oil into the kitty litter tray. And overall, she looks really good. I don't see any significant rust. Don't see any signs of major leakage or anything funky. It does have the 3-inch cap back like we noticed when we bought it, but I am noticing that it does have a here the stock Y pipe actually goes from twins into a single, and this one over here from the factory is kind of flat. They have it for clearance reasons kind of smushed flat. That definitely has to be a horsepower restriction. We don't have our exact plan set for this car yet. We're definitely looking on increasing its performance. That's part of what the show's about, taking it from one level to the next. But that exhaust is definitely holding us back. I was not aware that they did that with these cars. Alright, so we're going to change the oil, change the filter, and then we'll give the brakes and everything a good looking over.
Oil change done. Check the brakes, check the suspension, check the tire pressure. As of now, everything looks good for the track.
Sure, yep. One thing we noticed is when we brought this home, the AC doesn't work. It doesn't kick the compressor on. Usually the first cause of this would be too low of pressure. The way an AC system works is somewhere on the lines will be a, here you go, somewhere on the lines, right here's one, are sensors that monitor the pressure. There's a high pressure sensor and a low pressure sensor, and if the pressure gets too high, it'll kick the AC off to save it from blowing up, and if it gets too low, it thinks that there's no refrigerant in it, so it doesn't let it kick on. So there's a couple ways of doing it. One of the quickest and easiest nowadays is to just go to your auto parts store and get one of these quickie cans ready to go. Some even have a gauge on them to check your pressure. But this is about the easiest way. So what we'll do is, we'll have Cody start the car up, put the e-brake on, put it neutral and let it idle. Put the AC on maximum AC on the setting, fan all the way on high, all the way on cold. And this is almost a full can here. We'll put this in and see if we can get that compressor to kick on and get some cold air out of this thing. So go ahead and fire it up here. I'll hold the camera. And this is something anybody can do. Any of you watching at home, you don't know anything about AC. It's real simple and easy. You can't really mess it up. This fitting will only fit the right fitting that it goes to. You can't accidentally stick it on the wrong one. Huh?
What are you talking about? No AC.
There's no AC. Got her on the fan on high, and you're not even on AC down at the bottom. You gotta go to max AC. Right there you go, see? Nothing kicked on, no RPMs dropped down. You can see the compressor. Let me get us a light here. You see the compressor? It's not running. The AC compressor down there. The belt's spinning, but the clutch is not kicking in. So, as soon as Cody gets his ass back out here and holds the camera, I'll go ahead and try to put some charge in it and see what happens. The first thing is to locate the port that this fits. There's two ports on the system. Right here's one, and it fits that one. You'll notice that here's the second one on this system, and it's much, much larger. You can't put this on there, so you can't screw it up. You can't do the wrong one. One's the high side, one's the low pressure side. This is the low pressure side over here. So you go ahead and just pop it on. Engage it. Hold down the button. And if the low pressure is the problem, we should hear that compressor kick on down there. Give it a few minutes. At this point, with the compressor not running yet, we may have other issues. boring all these people with this long drawn out process, how about we shut the video off and see if okay, so we found a blown fuse in the AC section. AC and cruise control, and the cruise control hadn't worked before either, so, but the AC still didn't kick in. So I'm showing you guys how to check for a blown fuse without having to pull everyone out and look at it. Get an ohm meter, you stick it on the audible setting on the ohm settings, and you touch it across these little ports on the back of a fuse. And if you hear a beep, the fuse is good. If you don't hear a beep, the fuse is bad. And other than that blown one that we found, so far all these have tested out and we replaced the blown one. There's another fuse panel inside the car, right here inside the door. This garage is kind of tight, but I should be able to get in here to it. Good. 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 And good. So all of those tested out. Okay. So we may still be dealing with a low pressure situation. Okay, so we found the blown fuse, and the AC still didn't kick on right away, so we kept putting some pressure in, and sure enough, it kicked on. So the AC compressor is now spinning. See, the outer part is now kicked in and spinning. So it's just a matter now of getting this can into it. See if it gets cold, it should now. And see if it quits working again over the next few days, indication of a leak. Our intentions with these projects is to always repair them, fix them up, improve them, and then resell them and do it again. So you guys have footage for us to watch. So it'd be really nice if we go to resell this car to have working AC. We bought it with non-working AC, so there's an improvement already. So yeah, we'll get the AC blowing cold here. We're going to clean it up. We'll pick up the footage on the way to the track. You know, the more I drive this car, the more I like it. Chevy Camaros don't really have a reputation for being of quality of like maybe a European car, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, such like that. And it shows in the fit and finish. The plastic, the handles, everything, you know, feels Chevy. But when you drive it, it reminds you what is Chevy. It's a muscle car, is what it is. It's refined past what the muscle cars were previous to this generation. In other words, the braking's very good, the handling's very good, it's smooth, the gearbox does what gearboxes are supposed to do. The horsepower's there. I don't know what these are rated at. I haven't done a whole lot of research on them. Off the top of my head, I believe they're in the low 300s at the flywheel. Probably in the same area for the torque. And with the 6-speed transmission, you can 55 mile an hour down the highway here at about 1,300 RPM, so just barely sipping along. You know, on our way to the drags. Let's see if this thing will run. Low 13s is our expectations, but we really take a pick with more than that. It does feel like it's extra healthy and extra strong. It shows no signs of being weak or having issues in any way. So low 13s is our goal. We'll be at the track here in about 10 minutes. We'll get some passes out of this and the STI, and we'll see what has to be done to get this old girl to actually be able to outrun that old STI. You know, I'm an import guy too, as you know, with my other channel. I'm into the Hondas, but I'm also a Chevy guy, an LS guy, I should say. So I really would like to see this thing just destroy that little Subaru. So So this is actually Cody's first time drag racing period, huh?
That is correct.
So not only do we have to get some reliable numbers out of these cars, but we have to teach you how to drag race. So
Seems to be the case, huh?
I guess the fair thing to do would be then to swap cars back and forth a couple times, then we'll just go off of the time slip, whoever gets the best time out of each car.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So we went to the track and got a few passes.
Yep.
And I guess we should tell everybody what they're going to see here.
Yeah, I was at the first pass. I was in this STI. Had my two-step too low. Had it at like 46. Off the line, bogged real hard, and it was my first time at the track, so a little nerve-wracking. So I wasn't really hitting my gears the way I should have.
Yeah, adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was in the Camaro, and it was my first time there with the Camaro, and I launched it kind of soft. Well, here's the footage for that. You'll see how that turned out. We both had almost identical reaction times, so it gave a really good indication, you know, of this equal launch.
Yeah.
The Camaro out mile an hour, the STI a little bit, but here's the footage for that. Alright, well, even though the Camaro launched pretty good, it only had a 2060 foot. I need to bring that down. But Cody said the STI bogged a little bit. The two-step needs to be raised, so I'm going to raise the two-step up another 400 or 500 RPM, and we're going to swap cars here quick and do another pass, and we'll see what the results are then.
All right, and now what we're about to show you is our second pass when we swapped. I was in the Camaro and Craig was in the STI, and yet again I had a shitty light and spun.
Well, you had a good light the first time.
The first time my light was good, but yeah, the second time in the Camaro, my light was shit.
Well, they're going to see that.
Yeah, spun real bad. Yeah, you'll be able to see.
Yeah, and I was in the STI, and I actually red lighted because that little thing comes off the line hard. We had turned the two-step up a little bit more to 5,000 equal, or even, 5K even. And she launched out of me hard at 1760 foot, and well, you'll see here, I kind of leave him sitting. This pass was actually the best pass that the STI ended up making the whole night.
Yeah.
A low 13.1.
Yep.
And you did later turn the two-step up more and more, though, correct?
Yeah, I think at the end, I had the two-step up to 5,600 RPMs, but
Wow.
then that was a little much, so I dialed it back down to about 5.2.
Yeah. Well, as you'll see, well, you ended up hitting a 13.1 at the end of the night with it up higher, so it probably has more in it.
Mm-hmm.
Let it cool off a little bit. I'm thinking next time we go with that car's got a 13 flat in it.
Yeah.
The Camaro, I'm not quite sure. I was really hoping to hit a 13.1. Didn't happen.
No.
We might have to do some of those mods. But yeah, here's the footage for that. And we didn't get any more footage of the fastest passes for each. It ended up being 13.14 for the STI and 13.20 for the Camaro.
Yeah.
So we didn't get any footage on that one. My girlfriend didn't happen to make it up in time to film that. So here's that footage. Okay, so we took the cars to the track.
That we did.
And we got the results back. Apparently the STI is a little bit faster overall.
Not by much, though.
Not by much.
We found out that the STI, best time down the track, it ran a 13.1, and the Camaro had a 13.2.
Yeah. So I feel the Camaro has a little better in it than the 13.2. This was your first time at the track.
This it was.
And my first time in the Camaro. We made quite a few passes. These are only the best ones, but I noticed that the STI got faster as we turned up its launch, its two-step.
Yeah.
Whereas the Camaro, I kind of launched it at the same spot every time because it's on street tires. The Camaro out mile an hour the STI.
Yeah.
The STI out 60 footed the Camaro. So I have a feeling that as the 60 foot comes down on the Camaro, we're definitely going to match or better the STI. So, for example, the STI was 60 foot and down in the 1.7s, whereas the Camaro's absolute best I got was like a 1.9. Typically, it was a 2.0 on the street tires. I got a couple 1.9s with it. So, overall conclusion is, I think a set of drag radials on the Camaro would probably match it up with the STI.
That's what I'm thinking.
So what we should probably do as one of our first mods would be go get a second set of rims, and I happen to have a set of drag radials, 16-inch, that were for one of my previous front-wheel drive projects.
Yeah.
They were a little too big for that. They're not quite the size the Camaro needs, or we could just stick them on these rims and let them on.
Yeah.
But they'd be fine for the track. They're a 225/50, where this takes a 245/50, 16. So they'll be a little shorter and a little narrower, but they will be the stickiness that we need. So I actually have a second set as well we can look into. I have a set of BF Goodrich's that are on Ford rims for the Porsche. So between the ones for the Honda and the ones for the Porsche, I probably have a set of drag radials that we can put on the thing. We won't have to buy a set, but we'll have to get a set of rims.
Yeah.
And we'll have to double check and see, because I think the ones that were for the Porsche are 15-inch.
Mhm.
So we would just need 15-inch Chevy rims, which I probably have. However, the rear disc brakes on the Camaro are a little large.
Yeah.
They may not clear under a 15. I think they will. So.
Let's hope they will, or else we won't be able to.
Yeah. So how about the very first mod we do, we let everything alone.
Let everything alone, put some drag radials on her.
Drag radials on, and we'll go back, get some more times out of it. It'd be nice to see, I did some research since we talked last, and it'd be really nice to see this Camaro run down there with what the absolute best on the internet do. And in my research, I found that the guys claim a healthy 02 Camaro Z28 6-speed on street tires should run between 13.3 and 13.5. Some guys are claiming better, but they're also at tracks that are more at sea level. We're a little above sea level.
Yeah.
Here we're several hundred feet above, so we don't get the benefit of the faster sea level tracks. But for us to hit a 13.2 with it tells me this thing's healthy.
Yeah.
You know, you have to still have all your horsepower. I don't remember what the best mile an hour was, but I want to say it was. Remember what the best mile an hour was?
Not off the top of my head. I'd have to look at the.
I believe the best mile an hour of the night was 106. Your best mile an hour was more like 102.
Yeah.
So the Camaro's definitely out mile an houring the STI.
Yep.
Just not out 60 foot in it. What do you think we ought to do after the drag radials? Have you put any thought into this as any free mods or easy mods before we actually pull the trigger and do something gonzo with it? It's really hard to do weight reduction on it. It already has cloth seats.
Yes.
So they're not like their heavy leather seats. I didn't even check if it has a spare tire and jack in it.
Yeah.
We could check for that.
We could check for that.
I mean, that'd be 30 pounds.
It would.
It already has that darn cold air intake, so we can't even really upgrade that and check to see. It'd be nice if we could find a stock Camaro air filter box and compare the two.
Yeah.
I was hoping that it had no mods. I did mention in the video when we went down and picked it up that I thought it had a cat back system on it. It does not have a cat back system.
Nope.
We found that out when we had it on the lift and changed the oil. It's actually just a Flowmaster replacement and all still original stock exhaust pipe. It still has that really restrictive crushed flat.
That was one of the things I was thinking. Maybe for one of those simple mods, we could get a less restrictive exhaust run from the headers back.
Okay. I would like to do something a little bagonza with this car down the road, like maybe some nitrous or supercharger, or
coming from an import guy, I'd like to see what a turbo does to it.
turbo. Well, anybody that knows me knows I like turbos.
Yeah, that's true.
I like choo-choo sounds. Turbos make those choo-choo sounds.
Choo-choo.
So, okay. I'm down for that. Drag radials. If we're going to do a turbo on it, do we really want to waste the money on an exhaust system? Because the turbo would just negate all that anyway. Turbo is its own exhaust.
That's true.
So we ought to try anything that we can modify or change. I mean, we can even hook the HP tuners up to it, and we can try a tune. We could try going on the internet
And getting
a tune file. Like you have a stage 1 tune file.
Yeah.
I can go on the HP tuners repository site and just see if somebody has a hot tune file uploaded for a stockish, maybe air filter equipped
that one.
LS1. Flash the tune and do a comparison. See if the stock tune or this so-called hot tune. There we go. So drag radials, tune, and some minor weight reduction. That's 3 things we can check.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get it down to beat the STI. And what are your plans for the STI in the near future? You have anything hidden down the pipe here to try to get it a little faster?
So far, I'm just thinking I'm just gonna do small, minor things. Raise it up a little bit. Go with bolt-ons before I go and break into the motor and all that stuff.
What kind of bolt-ons are left?
I need downpipe.
Downpipe, that's an easy one.
Yeah, headers.
Okay.
And my uppipe. So.
Okay. So there's 3 mods that are left on the list of the STI.
Yeah.
And we have 3 mods left on the list of the Z28.
We can, yeah. It'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting. At least try to do at least something. I mean, the Camaro is stock other than the air filter.
Yeah.
Where you already got the Cobb tune, the exhaust, and the cold air induction, which we kind of equal out on the cold air.
Yeah.
But the Camaro don't have exhaust unless you count that Flowmaster muffler. It's just stock exhaust piping, but it's a Flowmaster muffler. So maybe we're kind of equal there, okay?
Yeah.
We still have restricted exhaust. We don't have headers. Okay, so a couple small mods yet, and we'll compare them.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So next episode, we'll be looking forward to doing some changes to both.
Some changes to both vehicles, taking them back to the track and seeing how it changed them.
Yeah, and we do have some repair work to do on the Camaro.
Yes, that is correct. We have on the right skirt there's a crack we got to do, and then we got to repaint the spoiler on the back.
The spoiler on the back needs painted. I have a couple friends in the industry that are good at paint correction, and we'll introduce him to these guys. So he'll probably be doing all our paint correction for us. His name's Gary. So that's about it. Let's wrap this one up. Call this one a wrap.
All right.
And we'll start on the next one.
All right. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you guys. Hey, Buchan.